Hello. Wanted to talk about the Celtic Cross card spread and a good way to look at it and the advantages of it, and basically card spreads in general and what we're doing with them and why they work and what they really are. What I think is important with the card spread to realize is that your card spread, even though you never see it on the table, it's really more important than the actual cards that are laid into it. The card spread is a questionnaire of what we're looking into. And card spreads are templates. So each position of a card spread is supposed to be something that would be important to look into, regardless of whatever the question happens to be. But it's aspects of your question. So it's questions within the question we're looking into, whatever that happens to be. And without good questions, we will not have good answers. And the traditional Celtic Cross is an older spread, so the position meanings are kind of vague. They're kind of old. And a while back, I updated them to things that were more useful to me, just because of over time, I realized that said, well, position 3, I wish I had, if I was, instead of using what's beneath me, and I would use, which is what has already happened, basically, what they're saying there. But instead of saying what's beneath me and what's already happened, I would rather have position 3 being something else. And so then eventually I just changed it. And I saw it work better. But I'm answering questions that were more useful to the client. And it gave me better readings. And I don't think it's rare for somebody to do that. I think a lot of readers realize this as they're reading. They're saying to themselves, if this position meant something different, I would give me a better reading. And they change it. So this is what I came up with. And it's in all my books, and it's it worked out very well for me. And so first I'm going to go over what it is, a regular cross. But anyway, we're going to have an overhead here showing. No, I'm not going to have the overhead. I got an actual diagram here I'm going to share with you. But what really was helpful with it was actually by using it with experience and saw what worked. And to this day, I still think there's times I tweak it here and change a little here, one of the other positions. But I'm going to go over what they normally are here. Traditional cross, the first position 1 is called this covers him. And this is considered the influences at work, the atmosphere of the situation. I'm reading this off of what my notes were here. The influences at work and the atmosphere of the situation. And then number 2 is this crosses him. So number 1 is this covers him. Number 2 is this crosses him. Number 2 is opposing forces to this situation, good or bad. So if it's a bad situation, opposing forces which are good. Or if it's a good situation, opposing forces that are bad. Number 3 position, beneath him. And basically, this is what already happened. So recent past. Number 4 position is this behind him. And this his work is vague. Number 3 position is what has already happened. And that's titled what's beneath him. But number 4 position is what's behind him. And that is what has recently happened. So they're basically the same thing, number 3 and 4. And that does seems like a waste. So what has happened and what has recently happened, you could change that maybe to what has happened in the distant past in number 3. And this way, number 4 makes more sense, is what has recently happened. but it doesn't specify that in instructions for a traditional cross. Number 5 position, this crowns him. And that is what may come to pass in the future. This crowns him, what may come to pass in the future. And number 6 is this is before him. Now here again, we have the same thing with number 3 and 4 we have with 5 and 6. Number 6, this is before him. And that is what will come to pass in the future. So number 5 is what crowns him, what may come to pass in the future, what may come to pass in the future. And number 6 is what will come to pass in the future. So position 5 is this might happen. Position 6 is saying this definitely is going to happen. That I disagree with anyway, because I cannot say for sure what will happen. I can predict. And I can say, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like this is going to happen. But I'll never say this for sure is going to happen. And then number 7 is Corinth's fears. And that is Corinth's fears about this issue. Okay. Number 8 is family opinions, influences of friends and families, how they're involved with this. Number 9 is the seeker's hopes, what they're trying to achieve. And number 10 is a final outcome. What final outcome will be. And note, this should take all other cards into consideration when you're talking about this 10th position. So again, to me, that seems a little confusing about what they're doing here. You know, what has already happened and what has already happened recently, what will come to pass and what might come to pass. Things like this just didn't work for me. So what I did is I took my positions and I changed them. And you'll see on my cross here, I've also, the way they're laid out is the way I always laid out. Number 3 and 4 is top to bottom. 5 and 6 is left to right. And you can lay it out any way you want to. It's really not important what order you put those cards into. What's important is what those positions mean. That's what's important, because that's what we're looking at. What are we addressing here? So you might see different patterns on here from other sources as far as how to lay a cross out. It really doesn't make any difference. What's important is that you have important position meanings. So with me, I take number 1 and 2 positions, and they, in the diagram of a cross, those 2 cards cross each other. And I finally decided that I'm going to have those 2 positions represent the question itself. And see, that's the most important part of what we're looking at. What are we looking at here? I use both of those cards together, working together, to have a close look at the question we're looking at. What is it? And I look at those 2 cards for ideas on how to see it differently, or what's important with this question. And what are we really looking at? And whatever you see there with that is great. Next, I go to number 3, where in a traditional cross is beneath him, what has already happened. With me, I look at number 3 as the initial response or immediate goals this person's happen to be taken about this situation. Immediate goals, or immediate actions, I should say. Not immediate goals, immediate actions. The actions the person's taking. What was their initial response to this situation? How did they act? What are they doing about it? And I think that's good to look into, because lots of times when you get a situation thrown at you, your initial response is impulsive, and it's not really clearly thought. It's not clearly thought out. And you could be doing things that are harming the situation more if you continue going in this direction than if you were to sit, take a deep breath, relax, sit back, slow down, and let's try to clearly see what's happening here and what we're going to do about it. So this allows me as the reader to question the initial actions this client is taking about this situation. And maybe there's something better they could be doing. And it's very common to see people taking actions on a situation that really do more harm to them than if they were just left it alone. Number 4 position with my cross is, what are they trying to accomplish? What are they? So they're taking immediate actions with number 3 position to accomplish the number 4 position. So what is it they're trying to accomplish? What are you taking the right actions from number 3 to accomplish the right things in number 4? Maybe the things in number 4 you really don't want to accomplish. Maybe you think you do. But if you think about it, maybe it's good we take a break on this, so we slow it down or change it a little bit in some way. It'd be better for me if I did that. Maybe I'd be happier. So number 4 position is, what am I trying to accomplish here? It's my ultimate goal. I'm going through all these actions in number 3 to accomplish number 4. Is this really what I want to be doing? So me as the reader allows me to question what they think they should be doing, what they're doing right now. Number 5 position in my cross, or in the traditional cross, this crowns him what may come to pass in the future. That's again, number 5 and 6 is, this is before him. 6, what will come to pass in the future, but in a traditional cross, number 5 is, this crowns him what might come to pass in the future. And I don't like either any of that. So number 5 to me is something the client's got going for them. An asset that they have, something that they can work with that maybe they're not using right now, that will help them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. This needs to be pointed out to them, a strong point or a position they're in or something that will help them achieve what it is they're trying to accomplish in number 4 position. If you want to look at it that way, you can. Immediate goals. Actually, it's what they can help them accomplish in their whole overall quest of whatever it is they're doing, which is number 9 position, which we're going to go into as we go forward here. The number 5 position is what an asset the client has that they should be using. And number 6 position is an opportunity that's coming that they should watch for. So if I could show them something specific that this is going to really help them, and this comes along, grab it. You're going to be approached, or you're going to come across this, or this is going to happen. This is a real highly predictive position for sure, because you're saying what is going to be brought to you, or what will be opportunity for you, and they should watch for it. And this opportunity is going to help them strengthen their situation in some way that will make it more successful for them to move forward. Number 7 position, down at the bottom of the pillar. This is how the client is seeing their own question. So now number 7 works very well with numbers 1 and 2. Almost like a 3-card spread. The client's seeing their position. We've taken a hard look at positions 1 and 2. It's what's the situation here. This allows us to question the client's perception of what's really going on here, what they're dealing with. Is it what they think it is? Lots of times you'll have a client explain something to you, and you could tell that their explanation is very one-sided. Maybe you tell intuitively that, or maybe you can just tell by the way they're talking. But it seems like it's kind of maybe they're not leveling with you totally. And so are they being honest with themselves? That's a good way to put it. Are they being honest with themselves? It allows us to see how in line with this situation our client is. And if they're not really in line, it allows us to look for ways, opportunities to get them in line with it. We can question them. We can give them advice to go in different directions or seeing the situation differently. And that's what we do. Number 8 position is the timing. I call it timing of the issue. What I really mean there is what needs to be in place before they move forward with this. So timing could be very important. And it's good to have things in place before you act, instead of just acting with reckless abandon, and moving forward with something you don't know what you're doing. So preparing and what should be in place. Maybe everything is already in place. Maybe you've done all that, but it allows us to question that with the client and see what they feel. Are they ready for this, or should they put something? Do they need to prepare something more? That's number 8. Number 9 is the whole purpose of this situation. To me, number 9 is the most important part, because maybe numbers, not 1 and 2 is the question itself. Maybe they think number 1 and 2 will give them what they really want in number 9, or maybe it won't. Maybe they think everything that they're doing will give them what they want in number 9, the whole purpose of this whole quest I'm on. But maybe they're looking in the wrong places for this. Maybe all the efforts they're taking has nothing really going to help them. They're not going to get what they think it's going to give them because they're not seeing things correctly. And this allows us to question that. So it's a big picture of what ultimately they're trying to accomplish. That's number 9, the purpose. The purpose of this whole quest. What are you planning on attaining from this? What do you feel you're going to get out of it? Why are you chasing this rainbow? Number 9, the purpose. And number 10, I shift around with number 10 to this day. I still shift around with it. And I think number 10 is a combination, just like, well, let me go back here. Number 7, we did cover the old traditional cross. Number 8 is family opinions, influences of the family and friends on a traditional cross. Number 9 is seekers' hopes. What are they hoping to achieve? And like I said, number 9 to me is the purpose of the whole thing. So it's pretty close to what the traditional is there. Number 8 is totally different than what they have as traditional. Family opinion is number 8 in a traditional. With me, it's the timing. What needs to be in place before you move forward? But now number 10 on a traditional cross is the final outcome. What final outcome will be? What the final outcome will be. We should take on all other cards into consideration, it says here, while we interpret that position, though. I don't look at number 10 that way as far as the final outcome, what will be. If that position, number 10, is what will be, then really the other positions don't mean anything. Because just look at 10. This is what's going to happen. So why bother looking at 1 through 9? So to me, that doesn't work. I look at number 10 as what you can expect if you move forward with these other positions. Also, I look at it as fine-tuning the whole situation. So in other words, as you move forward, you might find other opportunities besides the 1 and number 6. Other things will come to you too. Or you might have a surprising blockage you need to watch for and be ready for it. That's position 10 can do that too. So it's fine-tuning details of things to watch for, things to look for, and also, is this a good pursuit? If we get this, will we be happy with it? So 10 takes in a whole lot of different things with me. Is this pursuit fulfilling my purpose at number 9? Sure. Will there be more assistance or more help to come than just what's coming in number 6? Will I have some negative things coming that are not showing up yet that I need to prepare for? Or will this just be an easy walk in the park? So it's a little extra thrown in there. And ultimately, if you do succeed with this, how happy are you going to be with it? Does it look like a good thing to get involved with? Or does it look like, don't be surprised if you do get this issue, there's going to be additional challenges that you're not even seeing yet. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but don't be surprised if this is not everything you thought it would be. But I never look at it as a failure. I look at it as you might have some extra work to do that you're not really aware of yet. You'll know that as you move forward. So that's how I do my cross. And what I think is good about it is it really looks into issues that I think are important. It's still intuitive. I mean, there's still a lot of areas there that you can use. Well, you can use intuition with any of the areas or all of them. One thing I would like to say as far as intuition goes, more than like what happens with me is I don't see specifically just intuitive insight from these positions. I get a feel for what kind of a message we're getting here, and I'll get some intuitive ideas from that. Intuition has no rhyme or reason. I might have just intuition on one position of the whole spread. Or I just might get an intuitive feeling about the whole spread in general. I might get intuitive feelings about the person, just the person's energy. I might get intuition just on the whole reading in general. I might get intuition about the person sitting across from me. So going over intuition with the reading, I think there's a lot of vague direction with that, and to me, a little intuition goes a long way. Your whole reading doesn't have to be intuitive. Matter of fact, I don't think it would be wise to have the whole reading be intuitive. I like to look at intuition like spice to the main course, spice to the stew or the pot of soup. A little intuition goes a long way. So if I'm throwing out advice as a reader to somebody, a lot of it's going to be factual or grounded, I should say. And then with that, you're throwing in intuitive insight to be blended in with that. And that goes a lot better than to just have your head totally in the clouds with your reading. Because people, it gives something to people I can identify with it too, because you're still talking down here, but now you're adding some insights into this particular thing more directly, more something they can understand better. So a little intuition can go a long way. And if you have intuition in just one position, and the rest of it's just clear what you're seeing as a logical situation, that's fine. Or maybe you have a little intuition on each position. Or maybe you're getting your intuition just by the person sitting across from you making you feel. Or maybe you don't know why you're getting intuitive ideas. But try to blend it in with the reality of the situation. It'll give something that the person can relate to easier, and makes the reading have more sense. Makes the reading more real, and it makes the intuition clearer to see or understand. If that makes any sense. Anyway, this tomorrow, the 25th, is our monthly Zoom meeting. 12 o'clock Chicago time. Tarot maps down below the link. And just come on in. All are welcome. Keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon. Bye.